Our next guest was appointed the deputy commander and special agent in charge of the Defense Department's Criminal Investigation Task Force following the 9/11 attacks. Mark Fallon, now the director of Club Fed, joins us live from Washington with his perspective. Thanks so much for being with us. You heard what the director of the CIA said. You were, though, very much in the loop. You were a big part of the effort in the war on terror. You've had your own experiences. Did you believe what he said?
Which part?
Well, that the interrogation tactics were believed to be lawful at the time and that they may well have been productive.
No, I don't believe them to be lawful, nor do I believe them to be productive.
Why do you think he said what he did then?
Well, he's trying to defend the agency. I can understand that, but I mean, at some point we're going to have to reconcile what we did and move on, and someone is going to have to be accountable. The real question now is how much damage has been done by not resorting to tried and true interrogation methods that in the past had very, very effectively elicited accurate and reliable information, intelligence, and evidence from terrorist suspects. We abandoned those practices to try something that is not based on any science and that is not based on any experience. So it was just a terrible decision, and I'm convinced it has jeopardized our national security.
You know, Dick Cheney has said on various programs, you know, that this torture helped, it saved many American lives, that valuable intelligence was gained, and that it led to, you know, the capture of Osama bin Laden. Of course, a lot of people, critics, saying that that exactly is not, it did not happen, and that's where you stand as well, right?
That's correct. That is inconsistent with the facts as I know them. I mean, I had an order from President Bush to investigate the al-Qaeda terrorist network. He issued an order in November of 2001, and that order was derivative to the Criminal Investigation Task Force to investigate the al-Qaeda terrorist network. So we were very much in the loop. We were obtaining all of the intelligence, all of the evidence, because it was our job to take that intelligence and turn it into evidence and bring these terrorists to justice. So I can just tell you from my position and my capacity, and the CITF was responsible to prepare a document called the Reason to Believe Determination to present to President Bush so he could determine whether someone should be tried before a military commission. So I certainly hope that the Central Intelligence Agency did not withhold information from that process, because that's something that would need to be looked into also.
The former vice president had something to say about the report. Just, I think it was yesterday. Let's listen to his remarks.
What happened here was that we asked the agency to go take steps and put in place programs that were designed to catch the bastards who killed 3,000 of us on 9/11 and to make sure it didn't happen again. And that's exactly what they did, and they deserve a lot of credit, not the kind of condemnation that they're receiving from the Senate Democrats.
The Feinstein report suggests that President Bush was not fully briefed on the program and was deliberately kept in the dark by the CIA.
Not true. Didn't happen. Read his book. He talks about it extensively in his memoirs. He was, in fact, an integral part of the program. He had to approve it before we went forward with it.
Mark Fallon, it seems like historians are going to have to decide between two very different ways of telling this story, the story that the former vice president tells, or the story we're just learning the details of, the most rudimentary details of in the Senate report.
Well, I can tell you, the U.S. government has just spent 5 years looking at all the documentary evidence that would apply here. So I don't know if they looked at when the president was briefed and when he wasn't, but certainly regarding the efficacy and the legality and the use of torture, we've certainly spent a lot of time and effort by a bipartisan sissy who looked at it, who voted, I think there were only 3 votes against releasing this. So right now we have people trying to rewrite history, and I'm afraid those who have misinformed in the past continue to misinform the public.
You know, I want to quickly draw from your experience, though, because in your article there in Politico.com, you said that you were privy to the information that was obtained when Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was waterboarded. He is the 9/11 mastermind. What did you know from this waterboarding? What came out of it?
Well, as I said, I am unaware of any information of value that it was a derivative product of waterboarding. And no one can say that torture won't produce some information. It very well may. But the problem is the information is corrupted, it is inaccurate. I mean, we, the U.S. government, we tortured some folks, and we had an emir of an al-Qaeda training camp named Ibn Sheikh al-Libi, who under torture said there was al-Qaeda in Iraq. And later on, when he was asked why he said that, he said he fabricated. He said because he wanted the pain to stop. So what happens is governments can actually go to war based on false information and corrupted data. So that's no way to process intelligence. It's useless intelligence when it's corrupted like that.
All right, Mark Fallon, director of Club Fed, really appreciate your perspective on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.